this particular photo shoot was kind of more personal because Shawna Crenshaw is like one of my best friends in the whole world. And she had a birthday coming up, and I had already been shooting kind of in the dunes, like the Imperial Sand Dunes in California, like on the Arizona border of California. And so she said, "Hey, I want to do a birthday shoot. I really like what you've been doing with the in the dunes, and I want to try something out there." So she started, you know, she's a Virgo, so in true Virgo fashion, she was putting that thing together, like to the T. So she came up with the outfit and this kind of like Mad Max meets fashion. And I said, we should drive out there at a certain time and get not only golden hour and sunset, but I really wanted to get blue hour as well, which I feel like not enough people stay for blue hour when they're at the dunes because they're afraid to be in the middle of the
Out in the
desert
dark. Yeah.
in the dark. But we were just pushing it to the limit. So it was a birthday shoot essentially,
Mhm.
but it became like, art.
Yeah, I didn't think about it till you just said it, but I think one of the things that I really like about this collection of images is the styling of it. Like she
Yeah.
really did her big one on the styling of it, and
Yeah.
it just kind of like the time of the day that you shot it, the way you shot it,
Yeah.
it just really goes really well with the
If you're
styling.
For the people who are familiar with Shauna, she is art. So
Mm,
she's covered pretty much whole body in tattoos that
mm,
are Black history and people who are like have made, you know, a moment in Black history.
mm.
So she has everybody from Nipsey to Tina Turner to Rihanna, Martin Luther King.
She's covered, right?
Yeah,
Like,
she's covered like pretty much whole stomach, both legs, back and front, everything. So both arms. So just her as a person is like walking art.
mm.
So I really had to like be like, how can I make somebody who is already art more art
Yeah,
and make it into a photo
yeah.
that can capture her
Because
essence.
you've actually shot out there in the dunes a few
Yes,
times. Is this
yes,
one of your favorite like sessions that you've had out there, or
yes.
yeah?
It is my favorite session just because sometimes when you're shooting it in those type of elements, it is not easy.
Mm-hmm.
Like the heat alone is like I think that day was 111 degrees out there,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and it was not cooling off. There were definitely desert bugs and things that
I know how you are with
oh
bugs.
God. I love shooting in the elements. I just sometimes don't like the elements. So, but not every model would be able to deliver that and be comfortable. And we weren't the only people out there shooting, so just to have on that type of outfit and be climbing up because it is a hike to the top of the dunes. It's not like you don't just walk onto the dunes, like you have to hike up them and
Mm,
it's sand. So me as a photographer, I had to really like protect my gear, make sure things weren't getting too hot, getting sand on them. It's not an easy thing to shoot, but when you have a model that just understands this assignment and is willing to do just about anything to get the shot, it
mm,
makes it so much more easier to get out there and just think about what you're creating.
yeah. So I have a couple images already on the website. We're actually selling the actual prints from the shoot that you did.
Yes.
And I just wanted to talk about just a couple of them because I know you were telling me like this particular one here is one of your favorites.
Yeah.
And I was curious as to why, because I have my own favorite, and I'm gonna tell you why,
Yeah.
I have my favorite. But
I have to like out of all the images we shot that day, I'm really big on like not like some photographers, will edit like two or three photos and that's it. But sometimes the roll is just too good and you come out with sometimes 20. just depending
Mhm.
on the shoot. And this was one of those shoots where it was so hard to narrow down
Mhm.
because she is such a good model. The elements were so like it was a perfect day to be out there. Um, so yeah, I edited a lot of photos from this set, but
Yeah.
there are two that stick out to me.
So let's talk about this one because I know you did say that this is one of your favorite ones.
Hmm.
I actually really love this one as far as like, you know, the black and white. Like, I don't particularly like my images in black and white for some
Hmm.
reason. But like this one to me is just so dope. Like
Yeah,
the composition of it, her laying out there, it's just like the expression of, what she's doing. And then you making it black and white to me, like just makes it more of a classic
yeah,
image. I'm curious as to, because you don't have a lot of black and white ones that you went
no.
with for this one. I'm curious as to why you decided to go black and white with this one and why this one stands out to you like the way it does.
I think it's just she looks so free and comfortable.
Mm,
And when you're shooting like in the desert, I think it's easy to get caught up in all the colors, the sand dunes,
mm,
the sunset, the golden sky, the golden hour, the blue skies, and you really want to capture that through color.
yeah.
But going back to her just as herself being comfortable in her skin and being art and being comfortable enough to lay across that hot sand,
Hmm.
um, I wanted to make the moment about her and how relaxed she was at the top of the sand dune. These sand dunes are not like small out
Yeah.
there. They're like
And I
they're
imagine it was
they're
hot to
up
lay
there.
down on
Yeah,
too.
and just being out there, not knowing what's under the sand,
Yeah.
but her just taking a moment and just being free in her own body and just laid out, didn't care about sand getting everywhere, sand getting in her hair. I think we both were it's about a almost a 4-hour drive out there, so
Mm.
we were both full of sand when we were in the car. But she wasn't afraid, and that moment was just one of those moments where she just looked so free.
Mm,
I didn't need the color in the image to tell the story.
mm,
It was just about her in that moment
yeah,
and her going into the next chapter of her life,
that's really dope.
comfortable.
What time of day would you say this was?
So this was towards the end
Okay,
of the day, our shoot. This was probably one of the last, I would say maybe the fifth to the last image that I took.
okay, so this was like more into the blue hour.
Yeah, so
Okay,
this was definitely into the blue hour. Um, we had kind of one thing about shooting in the sand dunes is that you get your footprints everywhere.
that was something I was gonna ask. Yes, how did you manage
So,
not to have the footprints in the
yeah, so
image?
we kind of had it wasn't that we didn't, it was just that in that moment we had found a spot.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
and like I said, we weren't the only people out there, so
yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's the one thing too. Was like moving on to like the next image. I could
Mhm.
say this is the image that I really like. I think is my favorite.
Yeah.
Um, and I was thinking that too. Like, there's no footprints in there. You can't
Nope.
really see. So I guess it's just the angle that you're shooting
Yeah,
at.
we had to definitely like be more aware
Yeah.
of where we were stepping and what we were doing and try not to because somehow the sand dunes throughout the day, I guess maybe it's the wind blowing the sand, but it makes these really beautiful natural
These
ripples in the
waves.
sand. So we were trying our best not to disturb anything that nature had given us that day and just kind
Yeah.
of go around or come up from the back and
I think that's one of the reasons why I love this image so much is
mhm.
that you preserve the actual waves in the sand
Yeah.
and then the lines are actually leading to her
Yeah.
in the sand. And then it's also the contrast of like having the orange sand against the blue with the blue
Mhm.
backdrop, and then her skin is because it's the warmth of the sun, and it's
Yeah.
just so many elements to this. But the one thing that I really love is like one, you were able to capture all this warmth, but then there's the moon. You can still see the moon above her head,
Yeah.
which is crazy to me. Like that's this is like one of those shots to me that's just kind of like iconic, you know?
Yeah, thank you.
It's a
Yeah,
beautiful shot.
I was like whereas we were sitting there and I'm such a moon person,
Me
like,
too.
I'm a Cancer, so we are ruled by the moon, and so whenever I see the moon, I've seen some of your images where you've caught the moon in different phases,
Hmm.
and I just think that's the coolest thing for me. I'm not that skilled when it comes to shooting things that are that far away.
Mm.
So me being able to capture the moon with her and and still having that golden, like you said, sun shining on her was just everything to me in the moment. And I was like, you gotta sit here until I get the shot because I really had to work in order to get everything to kind of make sense.
Yeah, I think this is one where like the styling of it
Yeah.
this is a good example of the styling matching the mood and the tone of
Yeah.
everything that's going on, and like
Yeah.
this is definitely one of those images I feel like tells a story.
I guess I'm one of those people that is in awe when I see the moon and the sun out at the same
Yeah,
time.
yeah, me
Like
too.
I'm like, "Oh my god, the moon's out in the daytime."
Me too.
But as it got darker, we just kinda, like, stayed out there until
Just
we
kept
just
going.
were like, "Okay, we wanna be able to walk back to the car,"
Yeah.
because we were high up.
Yeah, I guess the next image kind of shows that too. It's like
Mhm.
with the sun as the backdrop on this one. And is this shot before or after? This I get taking this is after this one.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that was after because we had moved down so we could get the sun right before it set. And
yeah.
because out there, the sun, once the sun starts setting, you have maybe 30 minutes.
That's what I was gonna ask. Is like how much time did you have
Maybe. And
once it
this
started
is
setting?
moving through the sand.
Yeah,
So really you have like 15 minutes
yeah,
to get the shot.
yeah. I figured it was a
Mhm.
very short window that you had to get all these images
Yeah.
in. I love this one because of the silhouette of it. You can still see,
Yeah.
you can still make her out. You can still make out, who she is and what she's doing. But it's like it's the really strong silhouette shot.
Mhm.
But then you also have this flare coming through, and I like shots that are in color,
Yeah.
and I feel like this could have been a black and white one. It would have been really dope, but I feel like with it being still in color, that you're still getting the warmth of the shot,
Yeah.
the sand and the sun and all this stuff. And
It was really important for me to have like a silhouette shot because Shauna is in the gym like crazy.
yeah,
Anybody that knows her, it's like she is working out
she's
like
on it.
every day in the
Yeah,
gym. So her body was like her legs, her arms, her tone, like it was just I felt like the best way to show that was to grab it through the silhouette.
yeah,
And I don't know if it would have transferred that well with black and white. It might have, but
yeah,
I just feel like in color you can see like the work she's put in.
right. Yeah, and she's posing her ass off in
Oh
all
yeah,
these shots.
she
So
is a pose assassin.
yeah. So the
But
last image
mhm.
that I had put on the site for print is another one of her laying down, but it's earlier in the day, I'm assuming.
I think this one was shot at blue hour.
Really,
Like
I can
right
see
in
that.
between, like before blue, no, well, not blue hour, but the sun had already pretty much set, but the
Okay.
position that we were, if you can tell from the last image, the
Hmm.
sun is directly behind her, but we kept having to move because once the sun would go down past one dune, there was no light in that area. So we
Yeah.
would have to keep kind of like moving. So every couple of minutes, we would pick up and move to the next dune so we could
Mm.
still get the light because I didn't use any um, strobes or
Really, so this is all
any,
natural
just
light.
all natural.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't really feel like you need it up there
Yeah.
because it's giving you
Everything you need.
everything you
The
need.
moodiness and everything.
Yes.
Well, that was the thing I liked about this one because the color, you had a couple of shots up here that I really
Mhm.
liked. And it was mostly because the color is so different in contrast to what like the other shot is. Like the previous shot, the
Mhm.
silhouette is so warm, and then my shot that I love with the moon is
Mhm.
such a warm shot. This is a very blue,
Yeah.
like in the sand,
Just
just kind of a more,
relaxed.
yeah, more of
Yeah.
a mild but the colors still pop though, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
I don't know, it just to me I just love that color tone that you're able to
Yeah.
get from that. And it's
This
just
one was kind of like one of those pictures that just happened because you can tell we were brushing. It was
mhm,
almost dark, and you can tell by the sand,
mhm.
compared to like how kind of aware we were in other shots of the sand. This one was really like, hurry up, let's hurry up and try to get like a few more before we have to get up out of here. But it just worked.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I
It's one
think
of those moments where I'm like, okay, we're done. Oh, wait, couple more shots, when your photographer's couple more shots. You're gonna
Yeah.
be there at least 15 more minutes.
Right.
But yeah, so that was one of them. I think I loved all the different colors, and that's why I went with so many because it couldn't have just been told with just the golden hour. We were actually out there before the golden hour. The sun was, when we first got out there, the sun was high in the sky. Like it was so hot. We actually shot in a different look, and that came out actually pretty dope too. But we
Mm.
we weren't able to get as many because it was, when I say it was so hot, it feels like you're not even in
Yeah, it
California
doesn't look
anymore.
like
You
California at
feel
all.
like you're in, like, I don't know, I've never been to Dubai, but
Yeah.
or Egypt or something like the Sahara Desert, but it gives that vibe of just the middle of nowhere. But you get a lot of local people that drive that live in the surrounding city,
Mhm.
and they drive up just to sit on the dunes and watch the sunset.
Mhm.
So when I found that out, I was like, yeah, it's going to be the perfect um, thing to capture this for her.
Yeah.
And yeah, it kind of went viral.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of the images went viral, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, you guys
Yeah.
knocked this one out the park for sure. Like, it was hard for me to pick which images that I wanted to use for the prints because there were so many of them that I thought were like really, really dope.
Yeah, thank you.
Um, and then you were giving me pushback.
I'm an artist, I'm sensitive about my stuff.
I just wanted to show it off because I thought the whole series is amazing. But I definitely wanted to make sure I picked a few that were like kind of
Mhm.
representing each one as
And I
much as
have to say
possible.
this outfit is not an easy outfit to model in
Mm,
as well. So for her to be able to model through all of that,
yeah.
like her eyes and her mouth, I think were covered,
Mhm.
and then nude with just underwear. And like I said, we weren't out there by ourselves, so
Right.
just having that outfit on and modeling through all the chains and rhinestone diamonds or whatever it is
Yeah, that's
shows her skills.
right. That's crazy
Yeah.
because, like you said, she's covered,
Mhm.
but you're still seeing emotion. You're still
Right.
seeing like she's able
She's not afraid to
to
go there.
yeah. You're still seeing things that
Mhm.
you know.
And I think that's important for you to have with your clients, that type of relationship sometimes, especially when you're shooting something like this.
Mhm.
You have to know that the model is going to give it all.
Yeah.
This is not one of those places where you can go and not really, you'll know if the model is uncomfortable. It will definitely show in these type of elements. But she's a vet.
Shauna's a badass.
Yeah. she's she's definitely one of the best models that I've ever worked with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Purchase one of these prints. Like this is
Yes.
something that would be really dope in any environment, whether it's an office or a living space, any creative space. I think these prints would be, really liven the place up. Like, subscribe, do all those things, and until next time, thank you.
Until next time.